Hello, everyone. Okay, so I'm kind of doing this backwards, but I totally forgot to share the recipe with you as I was cooking it. So I'll kind of go back through and show you everything that I used, but I wish that I would have been doing it while I was actually cooking it. So what I did was I just browned some hamburger in a pan. So I did 1.5 pounds of hamburger, and you just brown it in a skillet on the stove. Okay. So what I added to that was I added some Montreal steak seasoning mix. I use this, you guys, to season almost all of my meats. Chicken, steak, fish, like it doesn't really matter. Like this is my seasoning like go-to, okay? So I put some of that in there, and then I also added just some minced onion. I always like to add this to my hamburger. It just gives it that nice like onion flavor, especially when I don't have like onions on hand. Because I don't know about you, but I don't use onions a whole lot. And by the time I want to go use them, they're like bad. So I either do frozen onions or safe bet is just minced onion. So I add that to the pan while that's browning, okay? And then I added a little bit of the Perrins Worcestershire sauce to the meat also, like only like 4 or 5 little splashes. Not very much because it can get kind of salty, especially if you're seasoning your meat, okay? So the reason I like this Worcestershire sauce is because it is gluten-free. It is the only gluten-free Worcestershire sauce that I can find. So the only one that does not contain wheat. So if you notice, like this recipe is going to be gluten-free. So all of the Montreal steak seasoning is gluten-free, the minced onions. So everything that I'm using is going to be a gluten-free recipe for you, okay? So that's what I do is for my meat, is those couple seasonings, and then I add a little bit of Worcestershire, let that brown, and then make sure that you drain any extra grease or anything that you get from the hamburger, okay, before you add it to your mixture. So then I take that hamburger that I just browned and I put it into a pretty good sized bowl, okay? I just add all the hamburger in there. This is the bowl that I used to mix mine up. So in with the hamburger, I add, so we did 1.5 pounds of hamburger, and then I add a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. So let me just show you what I used. This is the cheddar cheese, basic mild cheddar cheese. So I used a cup of that. Add that to your hamburger mixture. And then I did a can of whole kernel corn. So make sure you drain this. Drain it in the sink, drain the water out, and then add that to your hamburger mixture. And then a can of green beans. So same thing, make sure you drain it and then add that to your hamburger mixture. And then I also added a can of cream of mushroom soup. I actually used 2 cans of these. If you want to, you can do a can of cream of mushroom soup and then a can of cheddar soup, not cream of cheddar soup, but cheddar cheese soup is what I wanted to say. However, if you do that, that cheddar cheese soup does contain wheat. So I find these at Walmart. It's gluten-free, cream of mushroom soup. And like I said, I added 2 of these because I wanted this to be a gluten-free recipe. And so I opted out the cheddar cheese soup and added 2 cans of this. So those are the cans, and once you get all of that in your handy dandy bowl, oh, one more thing, sour cream. So I added just like a little dollop, I guess a pretty big dollop of sour cream. I just kind of measured, I don't know. I'm like that. I don't really like measure things. I just kind of grab some things and put it in. So if you don't, my husband isn't a very big sour cream lover, so I didn't add a whole lot, but I do like the flavor and like the consistency that sour cream gives to it. So add that, Add all of those ingredients into your bowl, mix it all up, and then you are going to get a 9x13 pan, regular 9x13 casserole pan. I sprayed a little bit of olive oil. So I just used this extra virgin olive oil. I sprayed that all over in the pan. And then I put my hamburger mixture in there. Spread all that hamburger mixture around. And then here's my secret ingredient. So I cracked 5 eggs on the top of the hamburger mixture. Just crack them and lay them right on top of the hamburger mixture. And then I took all my tater tots and started lining them up on the top of that mixture. And you're going to kind of like break the yolk almost with the tater tots. So when you press them down, the yolk's going to kind of break and spread out. You want that, okay? Like the egg will cook better and disperse the flavor all over the rest of the hamburger mixture. So once you get that all laid out, you're good to go, you guys. It is into the oven time. So I cook all of that in the oven at 350 for about like 45 to 55 minutes. Just kind of depends on your oven, obviously. Just kind of watch it. You want the tater tots to kind of just have that golden brown top. Once you see that, pull it out. I like my tater tots to be a little crunchy. I don't know about you guys. I don't like me a soggy tater tot. Like, no. So I usually the last like 5 minutes will turn my broiler on high and just broil and crisp the top of those tater tots the last like 5 minutes of cooking. So totally up to you, but that's what I do. And then here is the finished product. Let me see if I can. Oh my goodness. Does that not look freaking amazing? You guys, it's got the egg in there, all of the seasonings and the cheese and the yummy, yummy goodness. I cannot wait to enjoy some of this. My kids are going to love it. My husband's going to love it. It is a perfect comfort food during like these cold days that are coming up. I know none of us want to embrace winter, but it's coming, you guys. It is coming, especially if you live in the Midwest. Like, hang on to your seatbelts because it's about to get real. So that is the complete recipe, you guys. If you want a printed out copy, just private message me and I will be more than happy to send that to your inbox. But thank you all for joining me. I hope you enjoy this recipe as much as me and my kids do. And I hope you have a wonderful day.